Hello, beautifuls. I want to share my experience today, not in the form of a teaching, but as a witnessing an honest moment within a threshold. I've been talking recently about growth, and when we grow, there is usually a transition that follows because we're required to do something with that growth when we're asked to do something with that growth. And I am in the midst of a very profound threshold, which I will discuss more about that particular threshold later, but I wanted to talk about an emotional component of this process. The other morning I woke up and I had a debilitating headache. You know, the kind like where when you turn your head, you feel like it's going to explode and you cannot bend over. Well, I had it on the left side. It was just on the back of my head and on my neck and on my shoulder. And I understand, working with the body, that pain isn't a problem, it's a message. And in this particular case, it was a message that emotion was requesting movement. And I had had a huge emotional release the day before, so I was quite surprised that there was still energy there. However, fortunately enough, I was to see my massage therapist in the afternoon. And so I went and I explained to him, okay, I've got this issue going on here. He said, okay, well, we'll look at it. And as we started the massage, I could feel there was a lot of emotion. And I was observing it. And I noticed it wasn't moving. It was stuck. And I said, Paul, there's a lot of emotion there, but it's stuck. And he said, yes, it is. I can feel that. And so as he was working on me, I increased my awareness in my body and on this emotion. And I was very surprised to find that the energy was moving up and it was stuck in the middle of my back. And I was a little bit confused and frustrated because cleansing energy, moving energy out of the body likes to descend, right? It likes to ground. And when it moves through the body, it's held in safety when it does that. And I know it's normal to be confused when our body is not doing the things that we expect it to do. But I mentioned to Paul, I said, the energy is moving the wrong way. It's wanting to go up instead of down. And so together we came up with this idea that I was going to visualize a funnel from the center of my back down to the sacrum, and I was going to use my breath while he was working on my physical body. And it worked. The energy started to flow downwards, and there was a massive release. And much to my surprise, it was not the emotion I assumed it would be. The day before, I had stopped at the Gurdwara, the Punjabi temple, and I found the opportunity to meditate. And when I sat there, I found myself crying for 20 minutes. And so I assumed that this emotion that was stuck was also sadness, but it wasn't. I had moved that the day before. It was vulnerability, which in itself is a threshold moment. Vulnerability is the feeling of being exposed, bare of any armor, devoid of any armor. And that emotion rising told me that the old stories, the old structures, the old patterns were loosening, but the new ones had not fully emerged. And the reason the energy wanted to move up was because the body knew. The body knows before the mind does. And oftentimes, clients will say to me when we're discussing them, I felt that in my body, but my mind can't make sense. And that is exactly what was happening. My body knows what's happening. We already know we're moving forward, we're going. But the mind, there's so many unknown aspects yet that the energy wanted to go up and the mind wanted to hold on to it. But we allowed it to descend safely through the base. And once that cleared, the headache was gone, the pain was gone. I still didn't have all the answers. I still don't. I'm still in that place. But I wanted to share this because it's natural and normal for the body to have these symptoms. Nothing's broken, nothing's wrong. It's a signal that things are reorganizing on a cellular level. And this is something to celebrate. It's also something to be incredibly tender with, because we are vulnerable. And it is very important as we're crossing these threshold moments to hold our body and our nervous system in our awareness and in our compassion. Sorry about that. The camera died. But I wanted to share this because I know so many people are going through this process. Quiet crossings, difficult crossings. And I wanted to acknowledge that we are individually and collectively going through this. 2025 was a year of profound growth for many people. And with that growth is the invitation to step into something new. Not only was there growth, but 2025 saw for the collective, much of the scaffolding of the structures we've relied on are falling apart to the point where we can't deny it anymore. And therefore, there will be threshold moments continuing collectively and individually. And I wanted to offer this today, not as a place for processes or for steps for fixing, but rather a space where we can be together, where we are permitted to feel what we're feeling without judging, without naming, and maybe without even fully understanding what it is we're feeling. And just to know that if you are going through this transition, as I am still in it, I'm still here with it, that you are not alone.